Hey there drone fans, Rick here again from Drone Valley. In today's video, I'd like to show you a brand new accessory for your DJI Mavic 3. It's a deluxe landing gear kit that will add a little extra clearance between the bottom of your drone and the ground every time you're landing or taking off. Now, I think the Mavic 3, to me at least, represents a brilliant engineering effort from DJI for so many different reasons. But one of the things I love so much about this design is the ability to take a large quad like this, fold the arms in against the body to create this small portable package that I can take with me pretty much anywhere. And this design is based in large part on the original Mavic Pro that DJI released about 4 years ago, and that was their first folding design for a quad. Before that, they built fixed airframe quads like the Phantom series, which were great quads. They flew really well, they were stable in the air, but they were big. And it was really difficult to bring them along on a trip because having a big quad like that that's a fixed airframe means you've got to put it in a case, you've got accessories to bring along, and by the time you backed everything up, you had this giant suitcase you had to drag with you to the airport. So when DJI released the Mavic Pro, I remember seeing that for the first time, and to me, it was a technical epiphany. And I actually put a clip out that said the Mavic Pro is the future of drones, because I really felt like the minute they released that design, other companies are going to see that and start building drones that fold. And sure enough, most of the companies today that build drones build a folding style drone, and it's based in large part again on that Mavic Pro design. So the Mavic 3 is the latest generation of that drone, and it folds up really nice. But the challenge is, with a folding quad like this, they have to make it small, and it's a bit of a catch-22 because when you make it small, you have to compromise on certain things, and one of the things that these suffer from is the ground clearance right here. And you wouldn't think that's a problem, but all of the sensitive electronics on the bottom, all of the sensors, the heat sink, the camera, are really close to the ground. And when you first boot up this drone, the camera goes through a power-on self-test routine where it gyrates in all directions to make sure it's got freedom of movement. And if this is sitting in a field with grass, or if it's in soft dirt, or if it's in a parking lot even, when it first spins up, it's so close to the ground that any kind of wetness or debris or anything down there could get up on this heat sink or on these sensors or inside the camera and cause all kinds of problems with the drone. Even if you take off and land from a parking lot that's cement or macadam, there's dust down there, there's particles down there, and when that quad spins up and those props start spinning, there's prop wash downwards, it's going to kick up all that dust and debris, and trust me, it's going to get up inside the sensors, and more importantly, it's going to get up inside that really sensitive gimbal assembly. So anytime we fly these foldable drones like this, we're always looking for a way to get them a little higher off the ground to eliminate those issues. And starting with the Mavic Pro, we were on the hunt for a landing gear kit that would raise it up off the ground just a tiny bit. And every drone since then, the Mavic Air series, the Mavic Mini series, the original Mavic Air, we found landing kits for all of those. And the challenge is, anytime a new product like this comes out, all of the accessory companies out there just spin up their factories and start producing products to fit the quad that they think you're going to want to buy. And I always like to research it a lot before I recommend a product because there's a lot of accessories out there that don't work really well. They fall off the drone, they break really easy, they're kind of a flimsy design. So in the case of the Mavic 3, when it was first released, I started hunting for landing gear kits to find one that I felt was stable enough and it was going to last you a long time, it was easy to use, and it was reasonably priced, and we settled on this particular model. Now, a little bit of research behind these, there's really 3 ways that you can raise this quad off the ground. The first one is you can add extensions to the legs. Now, we did that on other quads. For example, here's the Air 2S. This has leg extensions on all 4 of the legs. The back arms have a clamp on it. The front arms have these foldable units, and you can fold these up nice and small and then fold it up with those on there. The challenge with this quad is it's a lot heavier. So when I looked at the arm extensions, I thought to myself, that's putting a lot of weight on those arms. It's raising it up, and it's really causing a lot of torque on those arms. I didn't really like that. Plus, I was worried that a lot of the kits we looked at either scratched the arms when you put them on, or they fell off really easily. And the worst thing you can have is 3 of them still on there and 1 missing when you go to land, because it's gonna land like this. So those were out right away. And we tested 2 kits there, and I didn't like either one of them. Then the other choice was to find something that snapped on the bottom of the quad like this one. And the nice thing about snapping on the bottom of the quad is it acts like a platform where the quad is actually sitting on it, so all the weight is handled by that platform. And these came in 2 designs. They came in what I'll call a ski design, where when you extended the legs, they were skis. They were basically long pieces on the bottom here that looked like 2 skis, 2 rails on either side. And that seems like a much more stable landing. But the problem is when you've got that piece on the side here, if you land on uneven ground, it's going to tilt the quad. And then you've got an issue with the camera either hitting the front or the back hitting the back. So we settled on this design. I call it a spider design, which basically has 4 feet that are incredibly stable platforms, somewhat flexible, and the quad sits on top of that. And adding it to the quad couldn't be easier. You basically hook these front 2 arms inside underneath where the camera is, push it down in the back, and these back two snap right into the sides of the quad. And when it's on, you can see the difference in clearance. I mean, look how much higher that is. That camera's way off the ground now. Everything underneath the sensitive electronics are way off the ground, and it doesn't block anything on the bottom. So there's custom cutouts down here to let the sensors see through it. It's not going to block the heat sink or any of those problems. And when you're done for the day, you can just pop it off and throw it back in your kit. Now, you could leave it on the quad. You could fold it up like this if you're just going to put the quad away fully extended, but if you want to fold the arms in, you can't leave it on there. That's one of the drawbacks with a mount on the bottom of the unit. But for us, with all the ones we tested, it's really, I think, the best design of any of them. And what I like so much about it, in addition to it being this incredibly stable platform that's going to protect your quad, is it matches the color of the quad. It's really heavy duty. It's really a high impact plastic, really heavy duty. And I like the fact that the arms can be folded at different dimensions here. You've got a little detent on the top where you can fold them halfway down or all the way out. My suggestion would be to fold them all the way out because it gives you the most stable platform when you're landing. And again, at the end of the day, I know a lot of people out there like to hand launch and hand catch their quads. If you're doing that, that's great. But having these with you in your kit, and they do fold up really small, having these with you in your kit, if you're flying on any kind of wet day where the field may be a little wet, maybe the wind's kicking up and you've got to land it, you want to make sure you've got something that'll take it up off the ground, because landing this in wet grass or soft dirt where it sinks down into the dirt or into the grass, you're going to get debris and gunk up inside the quad, and that's a really bad thing. One other thing I will tell you is I always use a landing mat no matter where I'm flying, and that nylon is a bit flexible, and because of the weight of this, when this lands on that nylon mat, a lot of times it sinks down through the mat, and that during power on, that gimbal will actually scrape against the mat and I get errors on the gimbal. So having these on whenever I fly pretty much ensures me that I've got that clearance between the camera and sensitive electronics and the ground. It just gives me peace of mind that I'm not going to get a bunch of gunk and other things up inside that sensitive gimbal assembly. So that's pretty much it for today. Now again, when we find a product like this that we like, we bring them in. We offer them on the website. I've got a link below where you can find that on our website. You can find it on Amazon. You can buy it either place if you want to support the channel. I'm sure you can probably find these elsewhere, but if you buy them from us, we're going to be here after the sale. So if you have any questions or problems, we'll pick up the phone. We can talk to you about it. You can send us an email if you've got issues. We definitely want to stand behind any product we offer. So if you want to support the channel, hit those links. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I promise you, we have so many amazing clips coming up on different products. I've got a couple more drones I'm going to be reviewing and a ton of other high-tech gear. So join the Drone Valley family. Hit that little icon down there and become a fan of the channel. And that way, when we post a new clip, you'll hear a little ding on your phone. You can come back and check out what we've posted. And that's pretty much it for today. So thanks an awful lot for watching. Thank you so much for your support throughout the year. And until next time, happy flying.